Audio advertising versus video advertising. Welcome to the Marketing Club. My name is Favour Obasi-ike, and I am your host at WeDon'tPlayPodcast.com. And I bring enlightening, empowering, and definitely thought-provoking, binge-worthy content that you can listen to. Because when you start listening to content like this, you start learning more about things you could do. Because when you start doing things the way they could be done and doing it better than how others are doing it, you could be so far ahead that you wouldn't even have to worry about anything. If you really think about your business long term for 2025, there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to have to think about. And right now, it may not be something you're interested in or you've never looked at, but audio advertising is one great place to actually gain momentum as a business, because you can do that through video, you can do that through audio. But either way it goes, they're both going to have a great impact. So we're going to talk about audio advertising versus video advertising. Which one is more impactful? Why? And when you think about the difference between these two, it's on the basis of what are people listening more to, or what are they watching more of? Because you can run video ads and somebody may not have a chance to watch through it. But imagine watching a video, you've seen that person so many times that you're so resonated with that person that you want to learn from them because you're learning from them in a new way. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, I'm running an ad for $2 a day. Each of them are a dollar each. It used to be $5 a day, and I dropped it down to one because my goal is not to gain conversions from that, but to gain traffic intelligence from that. Welcome, Dr. D. So I'm gaining intelligence from those sources when I'm spending $2 a day as opposed to spending $10 a day. Hey, and welcome, Hussam. Welcome to Marketing Club. Hey, Nozzle. Glad to have you here. So when you have a cycle of content that is going to be coming in the form of audio and video, you have to think about consumption. So right now I'm running a campaign for $2. Every day I'm spending $2 on ads. It sounds crazy, but it's doable. I'm doing $1 a day for each. So $1 is going to the United States, and they're set targets based on the communities that I've already focused on, because I'm not just running ads to the whole US. I'm running it to specific zip codes. So when you now do zip code marketing, welcome Adam. Zip code marketing is where you get very specific with your targeting. So if I spend $1, I know that $1 can get me $2 back tomorrow. So the goal is not how much to spend, it's how well you're spending it. So I'm spending $2. $1 is being spent in, welcome Mike, in US, and the other dollar is being spent in Luxembourg. Those are two different countries. So the goal is to understand who the audience is. So I'm not just using this for the sake of just doing it. I'm actually matching these two, audio and video. How am I doing it? Audio wise, I'm actually playing music. There's music that is going in the background. If you've ever seen the ad, if you've not seen it, I'll just describe it for you. I'm running an ad right now, and it's been running since February. It's been running since February. So I said this whole year I'm going to be running ads. I made that decision, and it's really paying off in dividends. Every dollar that I'm spending, that's what, $30 a month. That's yielding thousands a month. So when you think about the value, the conversion value, the people you are connecting with, it's not about the how do I say this? It's not about how much, it's how well. And how well you do it is how well you're going to get responded back to. So I'm not trying to make sales from $1. I'm trying to make impact. So I'm trying to gain data. So now I'm looking at data points from, and thank you, Dr. D. I'm looking at data points from the US and looking at data points from Luxembourg. So when you're running ads on Facebook and Instagram, There's something called, I want to break this down so you can really see it. If you've never heard of this before, I want to break it down so that when you paint the picture, you can actually see the same thing that I'm painting. So I'm going to open it up so that you can see. So right now I'm spending, let's see, it's actually loading up again. So there's something called brackets and a way of like just partitioning things in different categories. Let me say it that way. There's performance, there's demographics, there's placements, and there's locations. These are very specific details. Hey Joy, welcome. Glad to have you here. Cameron, Riches, Catherine, Divya, Masu, Jesus, or Jesus, thanks for being here. Tim, thanks for being here as well. Appreciate you so much. If you look at these four segments, performance, demographics, placements, and locations, they're different setups, right? Completely different setups. So my goal is I want to have the highest performance and I also want to have the right audience performing. And I want to be in the right placements. So if I'm in the right placements, what does that mean? Who am I connecting with? So when I think about audio advertising, video advertising, I'm not just looking at how long the video is, what am I going to wear, what am I going to say. That's for you to decide. What I'm bringing to you is how you're going to put that on the map, that if somebody sees that and they actually need that, they're the right people that will see that. Because sometimes we're showing the right product to the wrong people and we wonder why things are not working because we didn't do the research. We didn't do the data analysis. We didn't do the research and development. We didn't do the testing. We didn't do the evaluation. We didn't do the analysis. We didn't do the backstory. We didn't go back in time to really understand what is the root cause of this problem. Because everybody in business is trying to solve a problem. So if you are solving a problem, what problem are you trying to solve? And then the answer is, how do you disseminate that information in a way that someone can actually understand it? Amen, Snooky. Thanks for being here, and Kelsey as well. You have to think about the transformation from the other side because someone's listening to this message, trying to understand, how do I use this for my marketing? I'm tired of running around doing all these things. How does this work? I'm spending $2. Only $2. And what it's yielding is so much information that I can retarget the same people because I'm not just focusing on everybody. I did the research in February and I said, okay, I'm looking for people who are interested in SEO services, right? Whether it's websites, whether it's branding logos, whether it's rebuilding their brand online, whether it's zip code marketing, whether it's Pinterest management, whether it is podcast production, whatever it is, the link is above. We have all the options. From there, I'm like, okay, they book a call. They know what we want. We have a team. We're able to know exactly what it is. Then we help you. So when you start seeing you get traffic on Pinterest with close to 250,000 monthly viewers a month from zero, you wonder, okay, is this magic? It's not magic. When you're spending $5 a day on Pinterest, when you're getting 2 cents to 30 cents per click, compared to Instagram and Facebook, where you can spend $1, $2. And right now on Instagram and Facebook, I'm only spending $1 each, and I'm only spending 10 cents for every dollar that I'm getting a click on. Just think about that. I'm spending 10 cents for every dollar. I'm spending $1 a day. Like, this is madness. It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like, what is he talking about? It's true. It's possible. $1 a day, that means $365 in a year. You can do that. Sometimes we think about investing in ourselves and we forget that it starts with us. Charity begins at home. I've been doing podcasting for close to 6 years now. In August, we don't play podcast.com. It's everywhere. We're now streaming across 144 countries. So I'm not taking that lightly. It's a blessing because I've been on Clubhouse for 5 years now, since 2020, in November 24th. Yeah, to be precise. And it's been going up ever since. And it's the consistency in delivering. I look at my notifications on Clubhouse. People are listening to replays that I did back in 2022. I'm like, huh? What? On Pinterest, my podcast, things are happening. And I'm just watching and I'm like, okay, This is happening. This is good. I want to know what people need because I'm not just going to keep talking. Anything you see on Clubhouse, this topic, it's fully focused on research. That's why we're here. If I didn't research, you wouldn't be here because it wouldn't make sense to you to be here when it doesn't apply to what you need. So the research is so critical for me when we work with clients, even for myself, with our team. We just make sure that we're not making mistakes. The less mistakes we make, the more profit we make. Simple. But it starts off with, where do you start with handling solutions? Where do the solutions start from? So audio advertising and video advertising is a big thing. Right now, and I mentioned this, if you go to We Don't Play Podcast, I released an episode today and listen to it. If you're really thinking about business structuring, think about those things I talk about. And the replays are also here on Clubhouse. And I also want to bring it back so that you guys can just hear what I talked about on Monday. All right. If you think about it like this, yes, learn from mistakes, Dr. D. I appreciate you for saying that. There are 1.1 billion websites in the world. There are billions of blogs out there, and there are 4.5 million podcasts out there. Now, I'll stick with the websites because that's the bigger pile. There are 1.1 billion websites in the world today. And out of this 1.1 billion websites in the world today, I'm just giving you some stats so that when we talk through this, at least you have some data to work with. Out of these 1.1 billion websites, right, 16% are active. And those 16% that are active, right, are contributing to 46.1 billion search traffic online on a daily basis on the internet. I'm talking about Google, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, you name it, any big platform that you know of. 46.1 billion searches a day. So if you're doing the math, right, and you're asking yourself, okay, how many are we in the world? 8 billion? Okay, what's the 1% of the 1% of the 1%? And then when we look at the threshold and ask ourselves, are we reaching anywhere between this number and that number? Yes, no, maybe. Then you can create your conditional tree and figure out how you can actually go through that pathway to success. So it starts off with, where do you draw the line and how do you bring these things to fruition, right? So you start thinking about asking questions and answering questions. Then from there, you start taking this to the next level because you're not just doing advertising for advertising's sake. You're advertising because you want people to learn from you. You want them to listen to you. These ads that I'm talking about right now that I'm running, think about it. When somebody is just, let me say this before I say this. Yeah, before I say this, please put this in the chat and I'm going to come to the chat so I can read the comments. Please answer this question because I would love to hear your feedback on this, and anyone can raise their hand, come up on stage to free space. If you were watching an ad and you had two options, to turn the vocals on and hear someone talk and still look at the captions, or to turn the vocals off and listen to the music play and still read the captions and understand while you're watching what you're seeing, which one would you do? And put a one in the chat for the one to make it easy for you. Put a one in the chat if you'd rather listen to vocals, meaning that you'd rather hear someone talk on an advertisement talking to you that you can read the captions through, or two, captions yes, sound off, music on. Let's see. Listen to video one. Okay, we got a tie. Read the caption. Okay. Snooky, let me see what you said. That's a great phrase. Charity starts at home. Yes, Google Discover is amazing. That's true. Reddit is great too. We're going to talk about that for sure. For sure. Okay. Tide says two. Really depends on the environment you're watching. Thank you. I love that feedback, Mike. That's dope. It depends. So, because think about it, you're probably at work, you're at school, you're at the airport, you're at the park, you're driving. Something is happening. You're not just still. You're doing something, and then boom, it shows up on your feed, and then you hear the music. Will you stop to like listen and then play and then read, Or will you just be hearing something? You're like, I don't want to hear that. Like, I'm not even interested. I'm focused on something right now. That could happen because you're so different. And yeah, it depends on the language of the speaker. That's true. It's tone. It's influx. So sometimes people just want to hear you talk. Some people don't. People want to hear you speak. So it depends on where you are connecting with people. For me, this time around with this podcast, I've also incorporated a two-way model. Yes, video is on. Video is on for both of them. It's on for both of them. When I have this two-way street, it's actually a very interesting simultaneous effect on the podcast because on one side of the podcast, I have episodes when we feature, guests on the podcast. We have music in the background. And I'm also a producer, I'm also a drummer, self-taught drummer. So I also have entertainment business background. So I create music, I create jingles for our podcast that we create, that we manage, that we build, and also for my show. And also every season, I always make sure that I change the music. So right now we're in season 10, and it's more of like a Spanish guitar that I've created, which is really nice. So a lot of people are finding it really sticky. And I'm like, okay, this is nice. Hey, Steve, welcome. Glad to have you here. When I decided to put music on with that, I realized that there's more of like an ease because you can drive and listen to it with the music on. It's on loop. It's like lo-fi. Like, some people study with jazz music on. Some people study with classical music. Some people study with lo-fi music just to enhance that productivity rate, within their brain, within the reticular activating system. So anytime that you're doing something, repeat, that repetition is going to keep you performing. It's like sharpening a knife or sharpening a pencil. So the more you're able to sharpen through, the sharper and the quicker it gets and the faster it flows. So when you start creating content, you can start to see, okay, what's the difference? Because for me, with the interviews, I have the music on. With episodes like this, the music is off because people are listening to full information. There's no distraction, so you can hear every single thing. But it's not that it's distracting. It's just that when you're listening to an interview, you're excited because, I want to listen to this person. Yeah, this person sounds nice because you're excited. You're not really trying to write notes. You're literally in awe because you're just like, oh my goodness, this is actually happening. That's the expression. That's the feeling. It's like a dopamine effect. But when you're learning, you're not excited. You're focused. You have undivided attention on the focus that you are focusing on, which is in front of you. So if you have a time bound period that is going to allow you to say, okay, I have 90 minutes to accomplish task A, B, C, then you're going to split that 90 minutes into 30, 30, 30. So you know exactly 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm going to do this, this, this. So you already know what you're doing. You're already partitioning your time so that you can be effective, right? Because sometimes when we're not effective, we're deflective. And that deflection, it just gets defective and then we can't use anything because our time is not ours. So we have to really understand, what are we doing with the time that we spend? So if we're connecting with people and you want to do audio advertising, think about music because that's what's going to keep people coming back. Have you ever seen your best commercial without the sound effects on, or your best movie with no music or with no soundtrack? Just think about it. Just think about your best movie and just turn off the soundtrack and then tell me if you still like that movie. You will love it, of course, but the effect would be different. So when you start thinking about sound, when you start thinking about mindset, and you start thinking about the flow, you really want to know, okay, how do people connect with you? So how do you even advertise on audio? How do you advertise on video? If you've never heard this before, listen to this today because this will help you and this can work. So, how do you audio advertise? If you want to advertise on audio, there are platforms like Spotify Audio that you can use, Spotify Audience Network. Spotify Audience Network is a great place for you to do it. And it kind of like just saying Spotify ads, you know, just to make it easier. Spotify Audience Network. And why am I giving you these free information today? Because freely it's been given to me, so I'm gonna freely give it to you. I'm not going to gatekeep anything because it's already on the web. So there's nothing for me to, say that it isn't available to you. It's just the way to access it. That's the thing. So I put the link in the chat. So for you that wants to check it out, please, I'm going to be putting links in the chat so that you can click on them, check them out. If you need more information, if you need strategy, let's go ahead and get on a call and actually get the work done. But if you need this for yourself, please feel free to go through and do the research, because research is key. You don't want to do anything without doing research. I will not even start anything without research being done. Thank you. And then Mike says, just like exactly how trailer works, how does it make you feel? Exactly. Like this movie that everyone's talking about right now, Sinners, everyone's talking about this movie. And it's like, oh, okay, everyone wants to watch it. I'm hearing so many things about it. I'm gonna watch it and see, okay, what's it all about? Because I haven't watched movies in a long time because I'm so busy. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this would be one maybe we could, check out and see. So I'm giving you references. You guys can watch a movie. You know what you love. You know what movies you love. You know what ice cream you love. You know what cookies you love. You know what popcorn you love. You love what you love, right? As you're loving those things, you're going through an experience. The audio, the video, the visual, the feeling, the memory. There's a lot of things going on. So if I'm captivating you for 15 seconds with an audio clip that's talking about an episode that is probably 30 minutes long, and I've clipped 15 seconds of it, and I'm doing an audio version, and I'm running it on a Spotify ad, and I'm running it to people who like to walk, who like jogging, people who like to cook, people who like to do laundry. Guess what? If I'm spending 15 seconds with them in their laundry day or on their cooking day or their cleaning day, they're going to remember me because they're also in high productivity at that point. So it's not just you showing up for them. Yes, that's the goal, but they should also show up for themselves because they're already in active mode. If I'm working out and I hear an ad, it's because I'm working out and I'm where people are running ads for people who are working out. So it shouldn't surprise me that I'm seeing something about Gatorade when I'm working out. So it should make sense, right? But the reason why you know that is because it's a brand that associates with the value of the exchange of the experience. So as a business, how do you associate and say, okay, we do this, but what could be supplementary to what we do that's going to make your advertising even more pleasant? So it's not just about running ads. You can run ads all day, but if the ads are not adding up, if I can say it like that, then at some point you're going to get ad fatigue. And it's real. There's something called content decay organically, and there's something called ad fatigue when it comes to advertising in marketing. So when you think about these two, you don't want to be on these two sides of the fence, because these two sides are the wrong sides of, it's like, this is not where I want to be. It's like the grass is not cut down low. It's not where you want to be. You want to be where you can actually walk on the grass. You can lay on the grass. You can have a picnic. You can actually, have a great time. You don't want to be where the bugs are biting you and you can't even sit down because ants are in your food. You don't want that. It sounds like, nah, like those feelings that you're getting is giving you feelings like that. It's not good. But you want to be in a place where you can positively experience something that by the time someone has done something or has given you information or has advertised to you, and you feel like, I'm so glad that this person actually came to my feed. Now you feel like, oh, now I have an idea and I can use this for that. I'll give you another example, because this is more of like a series today, and we're doing SEO guides because I want to show you how to advertise on audio and video. Imagine this, picture this. And this is what I did with a client yesterday. Today is Wednesday. This was on Monday because I talked about it yesterday too, when we talked about backlinks. I spoke with my client, and she has an e-commerce store and she sells products. And these products that she sells the fabric is very sensitive, right? Because so of course, she's making her sales, she's doing well, she's living it up, and she's having even a brick and mortar location, to the point where we were trying to even change that brick and mortar from it just being a store to being a place where you can actually have a fashion show. Like, just use the space you have. Where she's already selling in Dubai, selling in London, selling in the US. So it's working. So I now thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. There are two types of purchases it hit me. I mean, it's something that I've always known, but in the conversation, because I love brainstorming with clients and just talking through things, because I may never get it right the first time because I don't know your business. Usually the first month is like a baby. It's like a date. You like, I don't know you on the first date. I know your name, but I don't really know who you are. And neither do you know who I am. But eventually when we get to connect, we get to you actually collect data, if I can say it like that, to allow us to know exactly what we need. So I've been this client for about 2 years now. So I was like, wait, it hit me. I was like, wait a minute. There are two types of purchases. There are pre-purchases and there are post-purchases, right? So with pre-purchases, that's where people go online to go to Google, they go to Amazon, they go to TikTok. They're trying to purchase this thing, but they don't know what to do about it yet because they're still in search mode, right? It's pre-purchase. They haven't purchased anything. Post-purchase is like YouTube. You can still go back to TikTok. You can go to Pinterest, you can go to Amazon and check reviews and see what other people are saying about what you bought. That's post-purchase, right? So I told her, how about we create a set of programmatic SEO flow. How do I say this? I don't even call it a flow chart. More like an operating system online that's page heavy, page depth, relatable, and create content about how to wash the clothes of the products that they sell. So that when they actually wash those clothes, whether they use cold water, warm water, hot water, when they're doing their laundry, they can wash those clothes because of the material, the fabric. So I told her, hey, let's start doing that because I think that would be a really great idea. And it's working. It's making sense because when you send an email to, we were able to move her from Clavio, which was almost over $100 a month, to Flowdesk, which is less than $300 a year. And she grew over 1,000 and actually should be 2,000 now because that was last month when April now. So over 2,000 subscribers. So right now she's over like 7,500 plus subscribers. When we were leaving Flowdesk, when we were leaving Clavio, it was like about 4,500 there, about 5,000, like touching. So it's grown to the extent where we have a pop-up, there are blogs, people are reading. Like it got to a point where even Shopify didn't even know what to do because we ended up losing some blogs. Some blogs were actually hitting millions of views, and then we lost it. And we called Shopify, and Shopify was like, "Oh, we don't know what happened to the blogs." We were so mad. Like this is a real story. So I don't know if you ever had this, but I learned so much from my clients more than they learned from me and my team because we're just looking. We're just like, what? How did this happen? Because it's your intellectual property, so you protect your assets. But when things like those happen, how do you come back? So we had to say, okay, because we've been thriving on these pre-purchases, and yes, everybody knows your business, you're already an established business. So let's do post-purchase. Let's actually show them the product in the place that they would actually use it as though they're the people using it, saying that if I run a commercial and say, hey, do you want to wash your silk, shirt? How do you wash your silk shirt? Are you going to use detergent? Are you going to use, what kind of thing are you going to use? What brands are you going to use? You want your clothes to smell good. You want to feel good. You want to make sure that they last long. You don't want to buy this product twice because you use bleach the first time. So the way you do it makes them feel like, oh, okay, we have a size guide. We have this product guide. It makes sense. And then they buy it because they feel like, yeah, I understand what this person is saying. So why am I giving this example? Because when you start thinking about your community, the people you are serving, it's about them. It's how do they want to feel, right? Because if you feel some type of way and they don't feel the same way, both of you are not going to be on the same page. And at some point, someone's going to crack and something's going to happen. So you don't want that to happen in the first place. So the goal is to make sure that you can secure your content by securing your information with information that they can read and understand how you proceed with things that you do as a business or a service. So we're going to dive deeper into this. And Mike, thank you so much for being with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Question, contribution, the floor is yours.
Hi guys, you'll have to forgive me just until I get round this corner. I'm actually walking at the minute. So once I get round this corner, I've got to wait for the road to be more quiet.
No worries. Yeah, please feel free to interrupt me when you are available to speak. It's big. Audio advertising is a big thing. You can use Spotify for that. If you also think about audio advertising, you can use your podcast. That's another way to advertise audio. Like, if you think about it, I've done this before and it works. And it's so cool that if you try this out, you will be so happy that you did this because you're spending so much less on advertising and getting way more on your brand visibility because you're focusing not only on just the people who are actually connecting with you, but the people who are resonating with you. And what do I mean? If I run an ad to a news article and there's an audio file that is a clip that I can play for 15 seconds on a web page. That means that the person I'm advertising to not only listens to podcasts, but also reads blogs or reads articles or reads newsletters. That means they're avid readers. That means what time do they read? Is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? Is it in the evening? Is it at night? So it's not just marketing psychology, right? So what do they do at the time that they're at the park? So when you start gathering that information, it helps you. And I'm going to dive deeper into that. What's up, Mike?
I'm all right, mate. Thanks very much. I think you've had some useful insights there. Just listening to the podcast as I'm walking the dog. Um, it's actually something I do myself. So I do lead generation, network marketer for different companies, um, and I also have people working for me in other countries that do exactly the same thing, the display ads and things like that for me. One of the things I wanted to touch base on you though with was you'd mentioned that you were spending $1 a day on Facebook ads. I was just wondering if that was lead generation ads or was that direct click to website ads? I just wondered what type of ad you were running. See, I run lead generation ads, but we also use text marketing and email services that run alongside that because not everybody is willing to make the purchase straight away. So we normally just collect the data, find interested parties who are interested in a certain product, whatever it is that we're doing the advertising for. We collect that data, and then based on that user's response, we will then market to them either via text marketing, send them to a bespoke landing page, or it might just be to collect information or send them an information pack for when they are ready to make that purchase. But like I say, we do everything from sort of working with coaches, coaches in gyms, coaches in business online coaching. We also do government contracts, all different types of things. So yeah, it's a wide variety of different marketing techniques. And personally, I haven't found one that I think is a one size fits all for each business. I've always found that it takes like 2 or 3 months just to be able to sort of generate a comfortable flow of leads for that business. Sometimes it is quicker. Sometimes it is quicker. I'll be totally honest. But majority of it is like I say, it's 2 to 3 months, and that's what we do. So we basically tell the client from the beginning is when they sign up to us, and we do a basic service, but when they sign up to like a done for you ad service, we tell them that there's a minimum of a 90-day ads service that we need to take on. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. There's too much work for our end for us to do it any shorter.
Okay. Wanted to first ask this, where are you calling from?
I'm from the UK, mate. Obviously, I'm from the north of England, so the accent is a little bit different to what you'd be used to from somebody from the UK.
Thank you for joining today. I appreciate you. And I haven't seen you in the marketing club, so I just wanted to know if it's your first time or you've been here before or how you
I
find the
have listened
room.
to I have listened to some of the rooms before. I've just never contributed.
Wow, I really appreciate you, Mike, for joining today. Yes, to answer your
No problem.
question, to answer your question about the type of ads I'm running currently, and it's very basic, and that's why I wanted to do it at a basic level, even though I can do it advanced. But the goal for me was to just collect data. So I'm running
Hmm.
traffic data ads, and it's simply just to specific regions based on zip code marketing that I've analyzed and seen like exactly where people are searching for it on a 30-day cycle process. And
Yeah, yeah.
then I'm now able to now send them to my link to book a call. And it's
Hmm.
actually kind of like a reverse because I'm not sending them to the website, but the website is at the back of the booking page. So when they get to connect on the social platforms, they get to see the visual, but that allows them to go to do direct search. So I see
Okay.
an organic boost because I handle more of SEO. I do both SEO and PPC, but I know that SEO would be more of my 90%, and then PPC would be 10%, because I already know that if they see this online and they go search for the same thing and they see the same person organically, then the trust is already linked. So it's more so of a building trust element than as opposed to just, conversions. But that happens on the back end because there's already a system in place.
Okay. So when you say with the SEO, is that SEO on page or off page,
It's full stack.
or is it both? Full stack.
Yeah, it's
Right.
full
Brilliant.
stack because when SEO is very touchy, everybody says, "Oh,
Yeah.
we do SEO, but what type of there's commercial, there's franchise, the SEO, there's international SEO, there's technical." It gets so messy that people just don't want to do it. But we just focus on making sure that your website, one, is first of all protected, so that
Yeah.
you have security online, just to hide from hackers and everything. Then technically is the second thing. So once you have security check, the next one is technical. So we make sure that your
Yeah.
website is also technically sound and also responsive to, AI search engines like you.com, like ChatGPT, like Siri, Alexa, voice, search engines as well, Google AI mode, and the rest of them. And then from now being technical, we now go to creative. That's now the on page, off page, and all
Yeah.
the other fun stuff. Yeah. So, but we handle everything from back to front so that your hosting has the right bandwidth, because you can be on the wrong server because you can handle the right traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that. It used to be something that we used to take on board, but like I said, now we focus purely on meta ads. We don't do anything else now. But yeah, SEO. When I used to work with brand new clients, the first thing they would say to me is, "I want to be first page on Google." It used to be like, right, what business are we in? So they'd tell me about the business, right? What keywords do you want to be found for? And then we would then look at their website, and then you give them a quote, and they'd be like, "Oh, well, I can get it done for like a lot cheaper than that." There's
Yeah,
there's
you're
three
right.
ways of doing things, isn't there? You can have it, you can do it fast, you can do it cheap, or you can do it well, but you can only choose one. Do you know what I mean?
That is deep, bro. Thank you for saying that. And that's a great highlight that anybody listening can also take on, because I like the long route because I know I'm going to get to my destination and I'm not in a hurry, because I'm going to trust the process and enjoy the process while at it. Because guess what? When you get to the finish line, you wish you started that race again so you can remember how you run that race. So that's how I think. Because if you're going to get to that top of the search and you know that you're doing your due diligence, you're tweaking things, you're fixing things. Like today, I even did a search on my website. I realized, oh, we got some broken links, and I now
Yeah.
re-indexed it. Because it's like a car. You never know, the oil might be low, something might be
Things
off.
change all the time as
Things
well, don't
change. The tires,
they?
maybe
Yeah.
the weather's change. Yeah, so things
Oh no,
happen.
I was on about the algorithms change. Do you know what I mean? Like things change all of the time. So as technology's moving on, that's why I think audio is really important. But yeah, as I was saying there, I have a quote that's on my wall, and it's actually on my bio, and it's 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts, which is something I stick by in business relationships and everything else.
I appreciate you for being here today, Mike. Yeah, let's definitely stay connected, and yeah, for sure. If anything on your end, if you hear anything, please feel free, and we can tap in, and also would love to even have you on the podcast so you can talk about this and let people know
Thank you very
about
much. I
this
appreciate that.
happens. Yeah, you're
I'll carry
welcome.
on listening. I'll carry on listening as I'm finishing walking.
Awesome. Thanks for being here with
But
us.
thanks very much. Thanks very much, and let me have the floor to speak.
You're welcome.
Cheers, buddy.
Anytime. Anytime. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, it's always great to hear, new voices and connect with people, because this app is huge, and the marketing club is at 351.4K members. So it's growing. And I don't do daily rooms as I used to, and this is the first week this year ever, 2025 edition, that I'm doing daily rooms at the same time. for a week straight, because I used to do this on Clubhouse in 2024 last year, and I did about 190 rooms last year at least, because there's some rooms I did not keep on replay. There's some rooms I moved away because I was like, this should not be on Clubhouse, and I've been thinking, I'm like, okay, all these rooms, there's still so much value. I don't have to say the same thing over and over again. How can someone find this information? So I've been really doing some deep diving. So please, if you want to learn about what's coming up, what's next, click the link above. And when you get the pop up, just put your contact information that you want to receive information from me. And you'll exclusively get information that will tell you when things are ready to be launched. Because what I'm planning to do this year, especially this summer, right? There's something called SEO guides. Hey, Butternut. There's something called SEO guides. And what I'm going to be doing this SEO guides is I'm going to guide you from start to finish. And I'll tell you, this is the first time I'm telling you. So if you're hearing this, this is the first time you're hearing this. So this is exclusive. There are 4 layers of this. And in each of these layers, they're going to be in any of these categories, right? There's brand SEO, meaning that you have a business, you have a business name, you have a business account, you have a business motto, you have a business mission, vision statement, right? You have a business, you are the business. So that business name needs to make sense as a domain, right? So we're going to focus on brand SEO. How can you stand out as a brand? Because if you type in any brand right now online, you're going to see their brand on the website. So we need to focus on that first, because we can't we can't own property if we don't own property, if that makes sense. We can't say that we can share property on land and say, yeah, we share a percentage of this because of that, but we can't really give you a full estimation because we don't have any equity. We are talking, but there's really nothing that we can say that we have that we can share. So and I'll give you a very good, you're posting on Instagram every day, TikTok every day, social media every day, and you have a business, and then you don't have a website that you can send people to after the conversation, or you have a place that they can read more about what you talked about on a social media post, then you're actually spending more time and energy on a resource platform that you do not control. So at the end of the day, you're spending time on a second party data platform as opposed to spending time and money, which you already are spending money on domain and a hosting on a first party data platform like Google, which is connecting to your website. Google Search Console is an internet service. You know how you have your AT&T, this is the first time I'm saying this. You know how you have your AT&T, your T-Mobile, your Verizon, you have your actual service, you have the service that that provides you telecommunication, right? Because it's two-way streets. Like, well, let's go back to the basics, right? Google Search Console is the internet service provider for your website. So if you don't have internet, you can't load a page. You can't go online. So that means if your website is not on Google Search Console, it means that you're not online. You're not recognized on Google. Someone will type something that you have, but if you're not on Google servers, then how will Google serve your information to them? It has to be a semantic bridge. It has to be a two-way street. So that's where you have to think about these things. So when you connect your Search Console, then you start running ads, right? You start doing audio advertising, you start doing video advertising. Where are you sending them to? To your website. You're not sending them to Instagram.com. You're sending them to your website. It could be your domain. Is it a landing page? Is it a website? Because if it's a website, that's good. But at the same time, it could be better because you could send them to a web page on your website that actually has traffic there. So when you now send audio advertising and you say, hey, this is what we want to do with advertising with audio, then people can listen to that. And then when they listen to that, they feel like, okay, that's 5% acquisition of listening, because listening is 5%. When people listen to things, they're not fully paying attention, because 95% of the time they're doing something else while listening to you 5% of the time. They could be doing laundry, they could be driving, they could be working, they could be doing something. But that 5% is paid to you. That 95% is paid to their duty, their day job, their whatever that's in their day activity. So if you're advertising through audio to them, those 15 seconds are very important, because whatever you're going to say to them is what they're going to retain. And if they don't retain anything, you've lost a potential consumer because they didn't understand what you were saying or it didn't make sense. Video wise, you also have to think about the frames. Every second is a frame. So if you think about a 15-second ad, that's 15 frames. So if you think about 15 frames, each frame has a representation. It's like drawing 15 cards or giving you or playing 15 cards or drawing 15 cards from a deck, right? By the time I'm done drawing 15 cards, how do those cards play to the end of the game? Is it Uno out or is it add two more? Like how are you going to create that effect with people that makes them feel like, okay, this is where I'm going to be and this is how I'm going to feel. And it takes a while. It's not going to be something that happens over time, but podcasting is one of the best ways you can do that for your business as well. Butternut, we'd love to hear from you. Welcome to this space. How are you? Glad to have you here. And I also see you as well, Sadia. Thanks for being here too. What's up, Butternut?
Hi, my name is Carla. That's my handle to promote my vertical farming project. So you'll see me on this with you'll see me on this app as Butternut, and sometimes you'll see me as Sweet Pea, just to promote the vegetables I'm growing. It's a part of my little campaign. But I wanted to just say to you, thank you for, I don't know how I was able to find you or how we stumbled into one another, but it's great to hear someone in this space talking about data driven results. And I did fill out your information card, your digital information card. So you'll see my name as Carla. And I wanted to know if you were familiar with the Prometheus network. It is a decentralized infrastructure for personal data markets that uses artificial intelligence. And if you haven't, I want to share that white paper with you because I'm looking for people who are interested in moving into a space that's really innovative as far as market research. I am a market research designer. I did a lot of designs for Washington State's lottery and some other projects too. But I just wanted to let you know that I see you. I respect what you're doing, and hopefully we can connect. Uh, and I have to go into a meeting, but I wanted to an opportunity to just say hello and let you know that I'm interested in talking to you a little bit more about what you do.
Thank you so much, Carla. Really appreciate you for being here today. Yes, we have connected and, we followed each other, but we never had a chance to speak. So thank you for being here today. And I appreciate that. Yeah, there's so much with data and analytics that we have to look at, especially the way things are moving so fast now. And we just have to think about what's working and what's happening. So yes, I'm all in for that. And if anybody I know would be interested in that too, I'll definitely send them your way. I love referring people to people because you never know where you're going to meet people tomorrow. So it's like, you're planting seeds and you don't know who you're helping. In the process of helping someone, you'll be helped too. It's like, it's that law of reciprocity.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm literally planting seeds. So it all works together. So I appreciate you letting me come up and speak. And I'll be talking to you again. I'm sure I'm about 7 minutes out from a meeting. If you're still on when I get back, I'll log back in. And thank you again for allowing me to speak. Hi, everybody.
Anytime. Thank you so much, Carla. Appreciate you as well. Yeah, this is all about advertising, y'all. And how do we advertise the right way? How do we advertise to people that actually want to see our content? And if you think about it, right, like companies like Apple, if you see the way they run ads, I've never seen, maybe, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know the last time I saw an ad from, maybe, yeah, back in the day they used to have it. If I come to think about it, when Apple started like advertising, they would have like long commercials. But these days, ads on Apple are at least 3 to 5 seconds, maybe 7 or 10 at most. But you're never gonna see like a 30-second ad from, I see you, Sadio. I don't see ah Apple doing ads that long. Please tell me, correct me, because I'm trying to really think through that. I'm like, do they? No. Some companies don't even run ads at all. But guess what? those 5 seconds that they show up, especially in September, whenever they're running their new product flagship or their flagship product, every single time that happens, it's always crazy on Pinterest. Because Pinterest, hey Bianca, glad to have you here. On Pinterest, a lot of people don't know this, but Pinterest is really where a lot of it's like a treasure island. That's what I like to call Pinterest. Pinterest is like a very special treasure island because that's where a lot of things happen on the back end because Google talks to Pinterest, right? And if Google talks to Pinterest, because Google has Google Images and Pinterest has images and they're both search engines, then how do people that are consumers of both Google and Pinterest connecting with those platforms? So that's how you're able to really build this relationship. So looking at audio advertising, you have to think about it in form of content, right? How do you advertise your audio to someone, right? You can use news articles and run commercials through those news articles and put your audio snippets in there. And between 2 to 20 cents on the dollar, you're putting it out there for people to listen to you, for them to now click to your podcast to listen to you. That's advertising. You can do that, right? That's one way. Video advertising, there's another way you can do that too, right? If you've never heard of this platform, check it out. And this is something that I've talked with, their staff, and very interesting company. And I would love to introduce them to you too today because I've talked about them before, but I think now it's time to talk about them now. So I don't know if you've ever heard about this company called Vibe Co. Vibe.co. Vibe is a platform, like, let me actually just bring it back a little bit so that you can get to see exactly what I'm talking about if you paint this picture. So, have you ever been on a streaming platform like Hulu, Apple TV, let's say Amazon Prime or Prime Video, or you're on Netflix, or you're on Peacock, or you're watching a sports game and you see a commercial? Vibe allows you to tap into those commercial boxes. Now, there's something called, we know about it, infomercials, right? And that's why I left this for the last part because we're about to wrap up. Infomercials is technically a compound word. We know what an infomercial is. There's a definition of the word, right? But infomercial, when I think through it, I was like, wait a minute, that's a compound word of two words, informational and commercial. So if it's an infomercial, then what information am I commercializing that's going to give credit to the product that I'm talking about? So if I'm going to be on a video advertising screen on, let's say, Peacock for 5 seconds, those 5 seconds, because it's a non skippable ad, I need to catch your attention for those 5 seconds or 10 seconds because the first 3 seconds you're trying to process what's going on. Then you have 2 seconds left to do make an action and it's gone. So if that comes back again on your screen, you see that an hour after, 2 hours after, you'll know that, oh, I keep seeing this thing every day. The day I see it, I'm gonna make sure it's like a fly, a gecko. You want to kill it because you want to like make sure like it's in the way. You think about those kind of things. You're like, how does this even make sense? But it's the reality. I'm just trying to give you like wild analogy so you can think about this on a wide scope, right? If you keep seeing this every single day, the same commercial every single day, and you need this thing, but you're not ready to get it yet. But you keep seeing it every day. You're spending 5 seconds on their screen. 5 seconds, let's say within a 5 hour loop. So you're spending 5 seconds every hour times five, right? That's what, 25 seconds in 5 hours that you've been on somebody's mind out of 24 hours in the day. So when someone's spending that 5 seconds to think about you, what are they thinking about? That's really the question. So when you start thinking about platforms like these that you can use to advertise, then it's not about how much you're spending, it's how well you're spending. Because when you start spending on these zip codes, these area codes, these provincial codes, these places that you know that they're actually searching for it because there's a school nearby, there's a hospital nearby, there's a restaurant nearby, there's an airport nearby, there's a park nearby, there's a store nearby, there's a grocery store that actually sells products that you support or you are in favor of, or there's a, let's say, a commercial building that has events that talk about your industry, that's where people hang out every quarter. Once you do that research, you know exactly where people are. So why not bingo, go there and then start connecting with them? Then from there, it starts to build that relationship up. So that's where it starts from. Just focus on audio organically, video organically, solve problems, and let people know about something that will really, really help you. And I was even thinking before this room started, it's actually interesting. And sometimes when I think about things, I'm just grateful to God that it happens the way it does, because we don't know tomorrow, right? We just live today and we hope for better tomorrow, right? And we have faith in tomorrow. So as I was thinking about this thing, it's actually interesting that Sadia, you're in the room, because I was thinking about reaching out to you later today because I had a very unique idea that's AI based that I would love to share with you, because I wrote it down on my notepad because it's something that came to me and I was like, this would be really cool to, to discover. So you coming to the room is like a light bulb that I was like, yep. So I'm just thinking out loud, excuse me, and I'm just like, yeah, this is exactly where we're going to be going to, because there's so much out there that we can see. And the moment you start realizing that, when we start doing work and start acting on things that we do, the more we sharpen our skills and the faster we process things so that we can have a much better output, because practice makes perfect as well. So I'm hoping that you learned something. I've given you some really cool platforms that you can use for advertising, for audio and for video. Try them out. Don't try them out, guess them out, or however you want to test them out. It's up to you. But if you do them and you do them correctly, then you will do them well and you'll actually enjoy the fruits of your labor, because you have to really benefit that by actually being very consistent with your workflow. So if you want to connect with me, get on a call. If you want to listen to a podcast, get featured on the podcast, whatever you want to do, connect with me. I have my business card. Just reach out to me and we can talk from there. But until then, I hope you have a blessed day, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. We're going to be here tomorrow talking about breaking down keywords. Same time tomorrow, we're going to talk about breaking down keywords with SEO. So it's going to be fun, and I hope you're going to be here too. So until then, God bless you. Have a great evening. I appreciate you all, and have a wonderful day. I'm going to see you guys soon. Take care.